The recent release of Denis Villeneuve's Dune had me entranced in the beauty of a new, unexplored world of story. You see, this is a world that many have treaded before, but some, like me, only recently have found the beauty in it. So, of course, I did the next logical thing and started to read my way through the 800-page epic that is Frank Herbert's Dune. As I started my journey and completed the first chapter, I noticed the difference between the text and the vision that Denny put forth. As I laid in bed, replaying both the scene from the movie and the book, breaking it down, I realized that there were other interpretations. Then that got me to thinking about breaking down each of the different perspectives from three very different artists. And of course, I did the only thing that a film school dropout who's currently unemployed would do. I decided to make a video essay about my opinion on the right one. Or, just show you what I see and let you interpret it your way.
Hey kids, who's ready to learn today? We are ready to learn today. Okay kids, sit back and I'll teach you something cool. Cause it's Kale's Cool Film School.
So to start, I feel like we should obviously go to the source material, which is the book. Published in 1965, Dune is written by Frank Herbert and has had 5 sequels written by Mr. Herbert, and has inspired many other sequels in its own series and countless other sci-fi franchises, most notably the Star Wars. In the book, the first chapter opens up with the Jabbar sequence, whereas in Lynch's and Denis Villeneuve's movies, they try to ease you into the world in a very elegant way, which makes you wanting more, but also sets the stage very well for the beginning chapter. So why don't you come join me as I talk about the book? Now, I will describe to you from the original text the Jabbar scene. So in the opening chapter, Paul awakens to hear his mother and another woman talking about him possibly being the Kwisatz Haderach and something called the Jabbar. Paul then falls back asleep to dream more about Arrakis, where his family will soon travel to. Upon waking, Paul's mother, Lady Jessica, reveals that the other woman is the Reverend Mother of the Bene Gesserit, which his mother is also a part of, and that the Reverend Mother is the truthsayer to the Emperor of the Galaxy, I guess, of the galaxy. They then go to a room where the Reverend Mother is sitting. She asks Jessica to wait outside, then uses something called the voice on Paul, which forces him across the room and to kneel before her. She then tells Paul to put his hand inside of a box. While Paul is distracted in doing this, she puts a needle to his neck, revealing that it will kill him instantly if he removes his hand from the box. When Paul asks her what the test is for, she responds by saying it's to test whether he's a human or an animal, which is something that the Bene Gesserit are very keen on finding, because they don't believe that their ways should be passed on to someone who acts like an animal. When the test starts, Paul feels a burning sensation that intensifies as the test progresses on his hand. The Reverend Mother then pushes the test too far, and as she does, Paul remembers the Bene Gesserit saying that her mother taught her that the fear is the mind killer. Once the Reverend Mother feels the test has gone too far, she then stops and apologizes for doing so. She then asks Paul about his dream, to which he responds to tell her that he dreams of a girl on Arrakis. And then the mother asks him if his dreams usually come true, which he responds to by saying yes. And then she leaves, and the Jabbar scene ends. So yeah, that's straight from the book. The book Dune. Now, I'm going to show you the scene done in 2 different movies. First is David Lynch's Dune, and then next is the recently released Denis Villeneuve's Dune. So, let's go over there and watch. Okay, now we're here in our special little viewing lab where we can take a look at clips and stuff. And so we're going to start off with David Lynch's Dune first, at the start of the Jabbar scene. So let's take a look and analyze what's going on.
What? 'Cause, like, I don't know, like, I don't know. 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 This is the Reverend Mother Gaius Helen Mohim. She is going to observe you.
So right off the bat, you can tell that she did not introduce that she is the true heir to the Emperor.
You know it must be done.
Your Reverence.
What does she fear?
Yeah, and of course, fear the
What about my
major
father?
theme of this scene. And also what Paul fears is his father's demise. And yeah, do exactly what she tells you. Of course, this is the voice. This is a little...
Voice.
Yep.
No.
Some strength there.
Yeah, and him resisting sort of building up that he is this holy figure that they are looking for. Of course, the voice being used to force him to move across the room to her. And of course, the part that they left out was him kneeling, but just the slow little pan over to him as the voice is used upon him is pretty cool. Yep. And then this is a special
Put your
box
right hand in
that
the
begins the Jabbar test.
What's in the box?
pain. Stop.
Oh, yeah, and then
Put your hand in the box.
of course the scene being a little bit different where his hand is going in as she puts the needle onto him.
I hold at your neck. The Jabbar.
Yep.
This one kills only animals.
Are you suggesting a duke's son is an animal?
Let us say,
This
I
is-
suggest you may be human. Your awareness may be powerful enough to control your instincts. Your
Showing the,
instinct will
again,
be
it's the test
to
between the
remove your
difference
hand from the box.
to show whether you're
You
actually
so.
human or just working on your animal
die.
instincts. And then,
You will feel
yeah,
an
essentially.
itching
Of course, the test being
there.
that he has to leave his hand in there until
Now, the
it's
itching
over
becomes
without removing it.
burning
Yeah, and then him feeling the burning sensation
upon heat.
on his hand.
Upon heat. Silence! Silence!
It burns.
Must not fear. Fear is the mind killer.
Of course, launching
Fear is the
into
death that brings total obliteration.
Fears the Mind Killer
Face my
monologue
fear.
that his
I
mother
permit
taught
it
him.
to pass over me.
And of course, that visual effect of what he thinks he sees in the box, his hand is appearing to.
brings total obliteration.
His hand is literally on fire, he feels.
Dropping off.
Here. Here.
Of course, this is helping him get through this thing. And then this is the best part where
A little dent.
the more pain he feels, the more she like climaxes until he can't tolerate it anymore.
No woman, child, ever withstood that much.
And that's sort of signifying that this is the
Take
furthest
your hand out if
anyone's-
you want to look at it.
ever gone in the
Young
Dom
human.
Jabbar, and that she went too far in it,
Do
as I
it.
said earlier. And then, of course, showing that his hand is fine. It was just a. I thought the line.
Pain by nerve induction. A human can resist any pain. Our test is crisis and observation.
I see the truth of it.
Could he be the one? Maybe. But will he be ours
Yeah.
to control?
And then, of course, in the book, she asks them about the dream, and then she just psychically sees the dream in this one.
Do you know of the water of life? The bile from the newborn worms of Arrakis.
I have heard of it.
It is very dangerous.
Yeah.
The Bene Gesserit sisterhood use it to see.
This is
within.
all added stuff to
There
where
is a place
later on in the plot. I haven't read this far, so I don't know
terrifying to us,
at all what the hell
to
this is.
women. It is said a man will come,
But yeah,
the Kwisatz Haderach. He will go where we cannot.
he will go where we cannot.
Many men have tried.
They tried and failed.
They tried and died.
So basically, just giving a bunch of exposition in this scene that what he's gonna do next. First death. My son lives. Just one of the greatest lines in cinematic history. My son lives.
I sense your teachings in him. Ignore the regular order of training. His safety requires the voice.
I've heard enough of my safety.
He needs
What
the
about my
voice.
father?
And then, of course, yeah,
I heard you talking.
just going into talking about his father again. So, let's go move on to the Denis Villeneuve scene, which is a little bit different and sort of follows the book a little bit better, whereas it's not really too much about exposition. It's more about building the world in this scene, where you get more of a feel of what the Bene Gesserit does. Whereas that one was, you understand that he has to pass this trial, but it also stands for more of an exposition scene than anything else. Yeah, here's the Denny version. As we see, this room is a lot more bigger than the other one, and there's a wider gap to cross. See, there's the wideness and how open it is, and this tiny figure in this big room where it's like, and then the carpet being sort of the galaxy, where it's
Defiance in the eyes.
she's not really the center, but she's part of the middle of the galaxy, part of the focus, and just a little bit off frame.
You dismissed my mother in her own house.
Like she's behind the shadows.
Kneel.
And then this, oh my god, this part is the best. Where she literally uses the voice on him and then he sort of blacks out. And as you can see, the gap was so huge and him crossing it in literal seconds is beautiful.
How dare you use the voice on me?
And then still her being behind this veil, sort of this cloaked figure that she's behind the scenes and stuff.
Put your right hand in the box.
And then we are beginning the
Your
test
mother
with her.
bade you obey me.
He does it anyway. And then here's this.
I hold at your neck the gom Jabbar.
The difference in sort of the appearance of the needle, but that camera sway to where it's like we don't know exactly what's going on, and then just sort of the shifting reveal of the camera is very beautifully well done, and I love it. But it's just he just sort of shifts the camera over to reveal the danger of the poison needle.
Poison needle. Instant death. The test is simple. Remove your hand from the box, and you die.
What's in the box?
Pain.
And then, of course, revealing very little about
No
the
need to fear
trial.
guards. Your mother stands
Okay.
behind that door. No one will get past.
And then this scene it's very different because in the Lynch one, it was just basically the Reverend Mother and Paul, but this one it sort of intercuts between the mother and the son and sort of like them sharing the pain.
An animal caught in a trap will gnaw off its own leg to escape. What will you do?
For revealing that only an animal would resist the pain, whereas humanity can push through any pain. And then, yeah, here it goes. It starts. The pain is sort of starting for him. Yeah, and you can start to she's feeling the pain and the fear right here, sort of the shared experience, and she's trying to calm down, where Paul is also trying to calm down and just let the pain wash over him. Yeah, and the soundtrack in this, like a buzzsaw going off. Yeah. And she's trying to calm down and sort of doing the fear is the mind killer mantra. As the scene progresses, she's calming down, and so does Paul. He starts to calm down too, and
It's the little death that brings obliteration.
realizing that all this pain is feeling him,
And I'll face my
and sort of he's gaining power in this scene against the Reverend Mother, who in her eyes is becoming more and more shocked by how much she's able to resist. The further he goes in. And you just see the fear in her eyes as she understands that maybe there's something more to him being the actual Kwisatz Haderach than she previously thought. And then, of course, that hand, the burnt hand representing what he thinks his hand looks like inside the box. But also Jessica becoming afraid that he is actually becoming the Kwisatz in this moment, and that she has given birth to someone who's going to have a hard life. Because the Duke wanted her to have a son.
Enough.
Yeah. Realizing she's gone too far and she's losing power, and like, which is a really brilliant thing to even talk about because he's supposed to be the savior of the universe. So like, him becoming the Kwisatz Haderach means that she is going to lose power in the galaxy if he actually is. So
Like
sort of
sifting
stopping
sand
him.
through a screen, we sift people. If you had been unable to control your impulses like an animal, we could not let you live.
Sort of revealing that he
You
would
inherit too much power.
died.
What, because I'm a Duke's son?
Because you are Jessica's son.
Yeah, and realizing that the power of the Bene
More than one
Gesserit
birthright, boy.
sort of outweighs the power of the Duke, but also
Jessica?
being born in a high class with that power is very dangerous. Oh,
You've been training him in the way.
here we go. Let's go back. This
You have more
part
than
right
one
here,
birthright, boy.
as I was talking about earlier, how she's sort of in the
Jessica?
shadow but not the center of the universe. Right here, coming up, him in the middle, being the center of the universe because he is the savior of the galaxy, and then her sort of being outside of his circle, unable to control him. Basically, is this whole scene is about control at its heart, and basically him being in the center of the galaxy and the center of everything, and then her not being able to control him, being on the outside, even though they are part of the same
You've
religion.
been training him in the way.
Which that is just a brilliant shot.
Tell me about these dreams.
I had one tonight.
What did you see?
A girl on Arrakis.
Yeah, and sort of
You
revealing.
dreamt of her before.
Many times he's having multiple dreams of Arrakis. And then this line.
Do you often dream things that happen just as you dreamed them?
Not exactly.
Yeah, so that's different from the book where it's just like he does have dreams that come
Goodbye,
to
young
reality.
human. I hope you live.
So yeah, that's the end of that scene. It's a very quick. It's because this is one of the bigger scenes in like the first chapter. It's something that even if you didn't finish the book, but everybody who's attempted to start reading it is very familiar. So you have to set the tone with this scene. And the tone is very well set, I think, for this movie, where it's just like Paul is the center of everything in this movie, and there's just this mystery that you need to unravel. Because whereas the David Lynch is just like, oh, we're giving you the answers to the mystery, but you have to put the pieces together later on. Whereas this one is like, we're not giving you anything. We're telling you that there is different, like, yeah. Like you see at the beginning of this movie, like the big, like all the soldiers lined up and stuff as Paul's dad accepts the contract to go to Arrakis, and then seeing that that's his birthright is controlling this giant army, this planet that he lives on, but also showing that there's this mysticism and he has these powers and ability that he's not quite sure how to use, where he has dreams that come true, and later on in the movie, spoilers, he has visions and dreams that don't come true. So that's sort of setting up that in this early scene, which gets called back at the very end of the movie, being like when the mother asks him, "Oh, do your dreams always come true?" And it's just like, not exactly, because sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, and he knows how things go, which is sort of contradictory to what the book is. But I like that. And then also sort of showing that they have this, Jessica and him have this sort of special relationship. But like sort of like her going through emotions as he's also going through emotions, and then sort of her saying the mind killer thing is sort of to get around all the voiceover stuff, because voiceover stuff in movies is not the greatest, but like, you know, you can, when she starts to say it out loud, you can see that he's going through it in his mind, and then he's gaining the power to overcome this test and then, you know, dunk on the fucking Reverend Mother. But yeah, seeing the two differences about how each scene is sort of set up, and then of course in the book it's sort of, it gives you a introduction to this world and sort of begs you to want to read more, and read on. And then in this you get other scenes at the beginning. There's a training scene that happens later in the book that happens before this, but for the most part setting up that something big is going to happen and he's of import, and then of course setting up the shots and stuff was really, really cool. And like, it is one of the most well shot and very dense scenes that I have seen this year. And this is one of my top movies of the year. So that was that one. So thanks for watching. You know, I want to start doing more of these in the future. Lessons, probably going to be a lot of scene analysis, and probably single scene analysis, a little less than comparing them to others, but we'll see. Also then, you know, going through other movie things. So let me know in the comments what you think of this episode and what I should do differently, because this is a pilot episode, so I would love to try and make things better and more tight and concise. And then also, you know, give me suggestions of film stuff you would like to analyze, what I see. Tell me what you see in each of these scenes also, how you feel, because you might feel completely different about how each scene sets up stuff. But yeah, just tell me how you feel about each scene, and then you know, give me suggestions on what I should cover for future episodes. I'd love to do that. I've got a couple ideas in the bank, but like for the most part, it's wide open and up for interpretation. But thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for future episodes. Thank fucking Christ. Thank Christ. The hard part is over.